This is Jonathan Agar here, Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Ben Shalom. Ben, a good night here in Liverpool. Natasha Jonas beating Habazin. What did you make of the fight?
It was a great performance from Natasha Jonas. I was concerned because Ivana Habazin was so confident and prepared so well. She's an established world champion coming off the form of her life, and wanted to really stick it on Natasha, particularly after all the talk around Lauren Price, and she was just superb. She gets better each fight. It really is pretty special to see. She's a true British boxing legend. She takes such good care of herself, but that was just an experienced, calm, collected performance at the highest level. And proud of her. Happy to see her have another big moment in front of her fans in Liverpool. It's always great here. She's a big star here, and another great night.
So it sounds like the Lauren Price fight is a done deal. When are you looking to announce that?
Hopefully in the next few days. I thought Lauren Price was scarily good tonight. I appreciate there's levels, but there's not many fighters in boxing, but definitely females boxing, that can be that clinical and take people out like that. And to see her come on from that unbelievably talented amateur to a vicious, angry, calculated professional, it's scary for the division, and I think it's put a lot of people on notice. That was a sign of things to come. I truly believe that. And Natasha was superb, so it sets up an absolutely huge fight. Both of them convinced they're going to win. Natasha feels like she's still getting better, and Lauren is wanting to make a mark on the sport. And it's a great fight, and we need those fights. Women's boxing needs those big names getting in the ring with each other. It's the road to undisputed. It's a huge unification, and it's going to be a very special occasion.
So, is everyone happy with the fight? Because it seems like Joe seems a bit like he wants to go a different direction, but it seems like done deal.
Joe's a nightmare. He knows he is, and he's hard to ever be happy with anything. The reality is he does care about Natasha Jonas, and I respect that massively. And so he's always thinking, when is the performance levels going to drop off? But so far there isn't any evidence of it, and that's what's keeping him going. I think he's just concerned that she doesn't, and I don't think it's necessarily about her next fight, but Natasha wants to go on and has a bucket list of more than just the next fight. And so, look, Joe's never happy. He's always moaning, but that's what he's known for. That's what we love him for. So he'll be doing that for a long time, and that's it.
Amazing fight between McKenna and Cutler. Lived up to the pre-fight hype. What did you think of it? Did you think Cutler? I mean, he had 2 knockdowns, but one of the scorecards was a draw.
Well, to be fair, I thought it was so close. I really did. I think those knockdowns got him the fight and won him the fight. But incredible story, and Lee had a really tough time. The sport is so cruel at times. You lose. He had a horrible loss to Brad Ray. He had to build back up, hardly getting opportunities. He even spoke to him after. He said, "Ben, this year's been horrible," and he felt like he had to take this chance, and he did, against a guy that no one wants to fight, against a guy that makes it so uncomfortable in there for anyone. And him and Josh Pritchard, and the way they dealt with the occasion and fighting for their career. You saw a man fighting for his career in the ring tonight. That's special. That's boxing for me. Yeah, we get the big world title fights and the guys making multi-millions and secured their career for a long time. But British boxing is about guys fighting for their livelihoods, fighting for their career, fighting for their families, fighting for their next moment. That's what that fight was about, and that's what made it so special. And both of them deserve a lot of credit. Stephen McKenna will come again. He'll be hugely disappointed. But Lee Cutler will feel not just elation, but a huge amount of relief that everything he put his heart and soul into over these past few years has been worth it. And it was a great fight, and the fight of the night, and possibly one of the fights of the year.
Vidal, obviously you've announced him against Usyk Chamberlain February 1st on the Azim card. Just wanted to get your take on, I don't know if you've seen Nikisa's comments talking about the Jake Paul Vidal fight. Vidal didn't really want to speak about that earlier, but what did you make of what Nikisa was saying about Vidal? If he starts headlining, maybe we'll be interested in that.
Look, we're not really interested in it. Vidal's so many levels above that, it's hard to even entertain it. You know, Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul. Vidal's a serious fighter, and I think it's maybe offensive to him to put him in that bracket. Of course, the Jake Paul fight, when he's perhaps become a world champion, will be a huge fight for them both. But Vidal's on a different trajectory right now. Vidal is one of the few fighters that I've ever met, and this is genuine. He prefers and wants titles and recognition for his boxing ability than money. I think I've got two fighters that maybe have been like that. I don't want to single specific ones, and I'm sorry if others, but Adam Azim and Vidal Riley. Vidal could make a fortune outside of boxing with these YouTuber fights. With this, he's going down the hard road. He's forced this Usyk Chamberlain fight, which is a huge test to happen early on in his career. It's a massive fight. He's not thinking about YouTube fights and this and that right now. He's thinking about legacy. He's thinking about titles. He's thinking about proving that he's the best. And to have that and that following, I'm incredibly excited for next year. I think it's going to be a huge year for him. I thought he showed his power with giving away a lot of weight to a late opponent. And exciting fight. Love Usyk, great character, always gives everything. He'll be coming with so much desperation to win, having fallen short 2 or 3 times now at the highest of levels. When you look back with Chris Billam-Smith and Lawrence Okoli, and more recently with Jack Massey. So, what a fight we have, and what a fight for Vidal.
2 more next week, Usyk Fury 2. Bellew believes that Usyk will win it more clearly this time round. Would that surprise you, or what do you think?
It's hard because boxing's an emotional sport, and my emotions and heart say, Fury's going to do it, but then your head says, no, Oleksandr. You could never bet against Oleksandr. It was like with Bellew, although Vidal did very well and better than I thought, because I'd learned over so many years never to bet against Bellew. It's almost the same with Oleksandr Usyk, and possibly he might be right, but you cling on to hope, and especially if Tyson is the Tyson of old, and he looks like he's really locked in for camp, and from all I'm hearing, he's had a great camp, so great fight. Fingers crossed Tyson can do it.
Lastly, Ben, probably the last time I'm going to see you this year, which I'm sure you're delighted about. But just sum up the year. You know, obviously you've got involved with the Riyadh season cards. Maybe last year you weren't really involved, and obviously you've been working well alongside Eddie and Frank and everything else. What have you learned this year, and what's it been like being around, the Eddies and the Franks and being basically part of all of this?
It's been interesting. It's been unpredictable, but it's been for me personally a great year to learn. We started off with Mayer Jonas, Buatsi Aziz, Wardley Clark, Price McCaskill, CBS Riatpour. And then Riyadh season became involved in a big way with ourselves, and then you're adjusting, and then all the promoter stuff, and it's been incredible, to be honest, to be involved in boxing during this moment where all the fights can be made, and Riyadh season are doing that and supporting that. It's an incredible moment because boxing's not always been this simple, and it generally feels like a golden age, but it can still be better. I think for me, what it's made me realise is also the importance of British boxing, and that British fight fans want not just the big, they want everything. Fight fans will never stop complaining, and they always want everything, but they want the big British nights as well. And that's what I grew up on. And I feel like maybe the promoters or maybe myself let it down a bit with trying to adjust to what was going on, particularly us in the latter half of the year with less shows. And so I think I've learned a lot, I think it's an amazing time to be involved in boxing, but I want to see the big British nights, and that's what we're trying to do now and deliver it consistently.
And do you think the other promoters, have got the respect for you now, or do you think it's gone the other way this year?
I don't really care. I don't really know. I think the main thing is that we can make fights, not that they were best mates. I don't think people care. Other than that, I certainly don't. But it's been. I'm very proud of the business this year because, starting in a little estate agent in Manchester 7 or 8 years ago, to now be on the biggest of stages, to be competing on the biggest of stages, to have a stable like we do, to be able to put fights on like we do, to be recognised for that by our competitors as well as everyone else is it's been a fantastic year.
Have a good Christmas, Ben. I'll see you in the new year.
Cheers.